afternoon, everyone. This is Kevin Gianni from the Renegade Health Show, and today is Friday. The weekend is here. Today we have a little bit more of the E3Live exploration that we did today. Tamera is going to be talking about how the E3Live is tested, and she'll also be talking about how it's dried. You'd probably like to hear about that. I know I wanted to hear about it, and you can watch today's show and get that information. A couple things before I let you watch the show. I do want to tell you that we're actually leaving Marin and we're headed south. We're going to be in LA over the weekend, and on the weekend what we're going to be doing is we're meeting with Donna Gates, so we'll have some cultured vegetable episodes next week. We'll also answer some of your questions because some of your questions have added up over the last couple days, and so I'll do a question and answer show maybe on Monday. We'll see how that goes. So watch the episode and we'll see you on the other side.
And then what process does it go through? You filter it, but when you get it either in a bottle or dried, it doesn't look like this anymore.
No, it won't look like that, because actually what happens is, as I said, these are a whole bunch of little tiny single cell organisms that are all hooked together.
Right.
And it makes it look like a blade of grass to our eye, but underneath a microscope it's little individual single cells. So when we bring it in, once we put it through filters and we've taken it from the natural environment, its natural process is to break down into those single cells, and that looks like a liquid, but if you put that liquid under a high power microscope, you'll find that it's actually single cells.
Mm-hmm.
So we call it the Aphanizomenon phenomenon. So we harvest, generally we're over here on this ridge from that point right below where Mount Shasta is. You can see where it comes down to the water. From there to the tip of that point right there, and that's about the distance that we are across the lake. So we have our harvester over there. We start out by taking samples of the water, taking samples of the algae blooms, and we determine whether or not it's the quality or what we're looking for. If it is, then we mobilize and we harvest, and if it's not, we keep looking around until we find what we want, and then we harvest. Harvest goes anywhere between June all the way up to usually around mid-November, sometimes sooner, sometimes later. It depends on the weather. The environmental qualities of the lake have to really be protected so that we have this resource forever. One of the things that we do is we leave our docks and our things out here, which provides cover for fish and for things so that they can go ahead and reproduce, and they've got cover. And so we do some of these things in order to help the ecology. We work with Department of State Lands and things, and they like us to, build protection, and we have little places in here when the water goes in. We've got tules. We've planted tules out here to give places for some of the wildlife to get in so that they're able to live and be able to thrive and survive, and the fish can reproduce. And so this is really, the ecology of the lake is really in perfect balance. It's a beautiful place.
And was this public land, or what is the?
This is public state lands.
Okay. Yeah. So anyone could come out here and harvest if they wanted to, but they wouldn't have any sort of. Well,
probably a few years ago, I would say that would be true, and it's actually in a way could be true today. But the difference is that years ago there were not regulations of how people did it, and now it's a highly regulated industry. So it takes a really intensive capital to be able to come out and do it right and to be GMP certified and things. So it really brings it to people who are really seriously interested in it as a business and really see what the value of it is. It's not. And also because there is not places on the lake, there's not property or public property on the lake, there's very few places in which a person can operate a base from, and you can't do it all from the lake, so you have to have a landside operation. The freezer trucks will come in once it's frozen, then we take it out and we take it to our long-term storage. Here we're repairing and fixing a new V blender, so we'll have another one. We have a couple of them.
Does it have to be named?
Blender.
Right now its name is Blender, but yes, it will get a name. Everything that we have has names. Yeah, we name everything.
But it actually, for someone like me, if I looked at that, I wouldn't think it would be a blender, so I'm glad that it actually has the label on it.
We're just getting ready. What we're doing is we're building safety shields around it, so it'll be OSHA approved, and then we'll be ready to start using that. getting the motors on it. So we have a number of little things that the men do when we're not harvesting. We always have projects going, building new things, inventing new stuff.
Yeah, if you have a shop, you have stuff to do.
Yeah. On the far side of this other end of this building, we have a full shop down there with equipment and things, and then the center section is our freezing section.
Okay.
And then we have a lab in here where we take all of our testing and bring in all of our samples, and we look at it under a microscope, do all the work we have to do, separate it into samples, do the paperwork. And so we only use that, we keep it closed, we only use the laboratory when we're harvesting.
Right. And the stuff about the lab, I mean, I know that you do heavy metal testing.
We do heavy metals. Well, mostly everything we do in outside independent laboratories. And the reason we do it is because we don't want people to come back and say that we would, change results of anything. We want independent studies on everything. So we do heavy metals. We do pesticide, herbicide checks. We do water quality check. We do all of it goes through food processing testing, just like anything would in your grocery store. We do microbials, listeria, E. coli, coliforms. It goes through everything that a food would, toxicology. So we have the same rules as a food. Taken care of. Once it leaves the lake, it is ready for further processing, which would be drying or for making it into E3Live.
How do you dry it?
We use refractance window drying technology.
So what's that?
Well, it's a drying technology that doesn't allow heat to get to the product, and in traditional ways of drying, you have spray drying, freeze drying, and then we have the refractance window. Spray drying is where they spray it in the top of a tank, in the top of like a tent at a high heat. It comes down into very small particles. They atomize it through some sprayers. Freeze drying, they would have to take our product and they would crush it up and they would put it inside of freeze drying containers. The problem that we had with freeze drying is that there's no way to consistently crush up or to create exact size pieces of the product, so you would get some that wouldn't be dried as others and over dried, and it didn't really result in what we felt was a really consistent product. So in our refractance window dryer, there are very long belts with hot water underneath a mylar plastic sheet, food grade sheet, and we spray it onto the top of this so it goes on ultra thin, and it's just a sheet that just keeps going around, and the heat underneath that creates a sweating of the water to come off. The product actually doesn't get hot, it actually just makes the water evaporate out of it and it dries, and it's a continuous thing. So we have consistency in our drying, and we can completely control our process.
How big is it? How big is that machine?
They're 40 feet tables.
Okay. Wow. You have it here?
No, we don't have it here. We actually have it in another site out about 11 miles out of town. We're a little bit spread, in our facilities. We're 17 miles north, 11 miles east, but each place has its own function. We have GMPs in place in each one of these facilities.
Oh, that's good. All right, everyone. Your question of the day is this: what has been your favorite Renegade Health Show episode? How about that? Go ahead and post it down below. What's been your favorite episode? I'm off to shave. Have a great weekend. This is Kevin Gianni. Together we can change the health of the world, one show at a time.